Get ready, because today we're taking a deep dive into the world of small business marketing.
Sounds exciting.
You sent over this episode of the English Globe podcast on the topic,
Oh, yeah, that one.
and it's jam-packed with strategies to help businesses connect with their customers, build a following, and stand out.
It's amazing how much they cover.
Yeah, it's really a goldmine of information.
What stood out to me was how they reframe marketing.
Yeah.
They argue that it's not just about selling. It's
Mhm.
more about making a connection between your business and the people who need what you have.
Like building a bridge, almost.
Exactly.
So understanding what people need and then tailoring messages that really speak to them.
Right, having a conversation instead of just shouting into the void.
I like that analogy.
And they use so many great examples.
Well, yeah. Like what?
Well, like that clever smartphone commercial everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
Or even just a really eye-catching billboard for a new restaurant.
It's all around us, really.
It is, and they emphasize how important this is for small businesses.
Especially in a world dominated by big brands.
Exactly. Marketing levels the playing field.
Give smaller companies a fighting chance.
Right. They even argue that small businesses don't need massive budgets to succeed,
It's about being smart and resourceful.
and laser-focused on your target audience.
So how do we do that?
Well, the podcast starts with what they call Small Business Marketing 101.
Love it.
And step one is knowing your product inside and out.
Yeah, makes sense, but I bet they go deeper than that.
Oh, they definitely do.
Tell me more.
They say it's not just about listing features, the specs.
Right.
It's about understanding what makes your product or service truly unique.
What makes it stand out from the competition?
They use a great analogy of a bakery.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So it's not enough to say we sell bread.
Right.
You have to dig deeper.
What makes your bread special?
Exactly. Is it the organic ingredients? A sourdough starter you've been nurturing for years?
A secret family recipe.
Yes. Find those unique selling points and highlight them.
And then focus on the benefits.
Right. What problem does your product solve?
It's not just bread. It's a solution for people with dietary restrictions.
Exactly. They give the example of gluten-free bread.
It's meeting a specific need.
Exactly. And once you understand your product,
What's next?
pinpointing your target audience.
That seems crucial.
They're really adamant that not everyone is your customer.
You can't please everyone,
Trying to do so will spread your resources too thin.
so figure out who's most likely to become a loyal customer.
Exactly. And they go deep on creating a detailed customer profile.
Oh, interesting.
Things like age range, location, hobbies, values, and pain points.
You get really specific,
It's about understanding who you're talking to.
so you can tailor your message.
Exactly. They use the example of eco-friendly products.
Okay.
The ideal customer might be someone who's environmentally conscious, actively seeking sustainable options.
And willing to pay a premium for it.
Precisely. And that's where SMART goals come in. Yes, I remember those from business school.
A classic for a reason.
Right.
Instead of vague goals like, I want more customers.
Which every business owner wants.
They say set goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
The SMART acronym.
It works.
Yeah.
So instead of that vague goal, you'd have something like, increase website traffic by 20% this quarter.
Much more concrete.
Or generate 50 new leads through social media this month.
It gives you something to work towards and measure.
Speaking of which, let's move on to online marketing.
It's a whole other world.
It is, and they dive into a bunch of strategies.
Starting with social media, I bet.
You know it. And they immediately address the elephant in the room,
Which is?
the sheer number of platforms out there.
It can be overwhelming.
They say it's not about being on every platform.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being on the ones where your target audience hangs out.
If they're on Instagram, that's where you should be.
Exactly. And they stress that social media isn't just about running ads.
It's about building community. Right. Engaging with your followers, showing behind-the-scenes glimpses.
Building relationships.
Exactly. And they highlight free tools that can help.
Which ones?
Canva for creating graphics.
Oh yeah, Canva's great.
And Buffer or Hootsuite for scheduling posts.
So you can manage your presence across platforms.
You don't need a huge budget for a strong social media game.
That's reassuring.
Next up is the website or blog.
The online home base.
They even address the question,
Go on.
is a website even necessary in this age of social media?
Good question.
Their answer is a resounding yes.
Really?
They made a really compelling argument.
I'm curious.
While social media is great for reach, a website gives you control and credibility.
Nice.
It's where you showcase your brand story, build trust, capture leads for email marketing.
It's like your digital storefront.
Exactly. Open 24/7.
I never thought of it that way.
And then there's SEO, search engine optimization.
The key to getting found online.
They talk about how a well-optimized website helps you rank higher in search results.
So people can actually find you.
Like if someone searches for best gluten-free bakery near me.
You want to be at the top of those results.
Exactly. And building a website isn't as daunting as it used to be.
There are some great website builders out there.
Like WordPress, Wix, Squarespace.
Even I could probably handle those.
And then there's email marketing.
Which always seemed a bit old school to me.
I thought so too, but they make a strong case for it.
Really?
It's a direct line to your customers' inboxes.
Where you can share personalized messages and offers.
Exactly. They highlight the importance of segmentation.
Dividing your email list into different groups.
Based on their interests or purchase history.
So you're not sending the same email to everyone.
Right. You send targeted messages that are more likely to resonate.
Makes those emails more effective.
And there are free email marketing tools like MailChimp.
So even small businesses can do it.
It's all about making it accessible.
So we've got social media for community building, a website for credibility, and leads.
And email marketing for nurturing those leads.
But what about the content itself?
That's where they introduce the idea that engaging content is king.
It's got to be good.
Across all platforms, your website, social media, email.
It all needs to provide value to your audience.
They say whether it's educational, entertaining, inspiring, or helpful.
Give people a reason to engage.
Like that yoga studio example they use.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Instead of generic photos, share videos demonstrating poses or tips for beginners.
Or blog posts about the benefits of yoga.
Or even recipes for healthy smoothies.
Go beyond the surface. Offer something truly valuable.
And they stress the importance of consistency.
Regular posting.
It's better to post a few times a week consistently than to go all out and then disappear.
Keep your business top of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. And of course, visuals are key online.
Eye-catching images and videos grab attention.
Absolutely. So much to think about in the online world.
It can be a lot.
But what about offline strategies?
They dedicate a whole section to that.
Are they still relevant in this digital age?
They argue they absolutely are. And they start with networking.
The classic.
But they go beyond stuffy industry conferences.
What do they suggest?
Getting involved in your community.
Local events, business meetups.
Even just striking up conversations.
Be genuinely interested in people.
It could lead to collaborations, partnerships, or valuable insights.
And then they suggest strategic partnerships with other local businesses. Like what?
A bakery providing pastries to a coffee shop?
Oh,
Or two businesses teaming up for a joint promotion or a community event?
Leveraging each other's strengths?
Reaching a wider audience.
What about flyers and brochures? Do those still work?
They say they absolutely can, but strategic placement is key.
Not just blanketing your town with flyers.
Consider where your ideal customer is likely to be.
Like if you're a yoga studio putting flyers in health food stores.
Exactly. Make sure your message is seen by the right people.
And design eye-catching flyers.
With a clear message and a call to action.
Like bring this flyer in for a free class.
Exactly. Give people a reason to take action.
And then, of course, there's word-of-mouth marketing.
The gold standard.
The podcast says happy customers are your best marketing force.
It's about encouraging those satisfied customers to spread the word.
Through conversations, online reviews.
Those online reviews are so powerful these days.
They can make or break a business.
You really can.
And they suggest a referral program.
Reward existing customers for bringing in new ones.
Like a discount or a free product.
A win-win situation.
This has been a fantastic overview of both online and offline strategies.
Joe's covered a lot.
But not every business has a huge marketing budget.
True. So what about those operating on a shoestring?
That's where the podcast gets really practical.
Starting with social media.
Which is free.
Creating profiles is free, and it's a fantastic way to connect and build community.
And they talk about content marketing.
Creating and sharing valuable content that attracts your target audience.
Blog posts, videos, infographics, even just helpful tips.
Like that gardening shop example.
Oh yeah, tell me about that one.
Instead of just pictures of plants, share gardening tips or blog posts about plant care.
Provide value. Position yourself as an expert.
And email marketing doesn't have to be expensive.
There's MailChimp.
You can send newsletters and promotions without breaking the bank.
And they highlight Google My Business.
A free tool for creating a business profile that appears in Google searches.
Especially important for local businesses.
It helps people find you.
And manage your online reputation.
Respond to reviews, keep your information up to date.
They also reiterate the power of customer reviews.
Encourage feedback and showcase those positive reviews.
It all adds up.
It does.
This is all great advice, but how do you know if your marketing is working?
That's where they get into data analysis.
Numbers.
They recommend setting up Google Analytics,
A free tool that provides insights into your website traffic.
you can see where your visitors are coming from, what pages they're visiting.
How long they're staying, even what actions they're taking.
It's like peeking behind the curtain.
And they emphasize tracking sales and conversions.
Are people buying your products, signing up for your email list, clicking on your ads?
That's what ultimately matters.
It tells you if your efforts are translating into results.
And track engagement on social media.
Likes, comments, shares.
See how well your content is resonating.
And they highlight customer feedback through surveys, social media comments, online reviews, even just conversations.
Gathering feedback provides valuable insights.
What people love, what they don't, what you could do better.
It's all about listening and improving.
They emphasize that marketing isn't a set-it-and-forget-it thing.
It's an ongoing process.
Constantly learning, adapting, refining your strategies.
Based on the data and feedback.
Experiment, analyze, tweak.
Find what works best for your business.
Exactly. And they wrap up with some overall tips for success.
Like what?
Brand consistency.
What does that mean?
Creating a unified experience across all your marketing channels.
Your website, social media, email, everything.
It should all look and feel like it came from the same brand.
Consistency builds trust and recognition.
And they talk about not overpromising.
Setting realistic expectations.
It's tempting to make grand promises,
But if you can't deliver, you'll disappoint your customers.
better to underpromise and overdeliver.
Exceed expectations.
And they emphasize patience and persistence.
Success takes time.
It does, and marketing is no different.
Consistent effort, learning from mistakes, refining your approach,
Celebrate those small wins along the way.
new followers, positive reviews, successful campaigns.
Stay motivated.
And finally, they talk about flexibility.
The marketing world is constantly changing.
New trends, technology advances, customer preferences shift.
You have to adapt, experiment, embrace change.
This has been a whirlwind tour of marketing principles.
From online to offline, budgeting to measuring success.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, but you've got a great foundation now.
I feel like I've learned so much.
But we're just getting started.
Oh, there's more.
In part 2, we'll get even more practical.
Even more.
Real-world examples, actionable steps,
Sounds good.
and we'll explore how to tailor your approach to different stages of business growth.
Startups versus established companies.
You got it.
Can't wait.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into small business marketing. Ready to get even more practical?
Absolutely. Bring on the real-world examples.
That's what I like to hear. The English Globe podcast uses a brilliant case study in this episode.
Oh, tell me about it.
They focus on a small coffee shop
Okay.
to illustrate how these marketing principles can work in a real-world setting.
Makes it easier to picture, right?
It's so much more relatable and tangible.
All right, so let's step into the shoes of this coffee shop owner.
See how they use marketing to build a thriving business?
I can almost smell the coffee already.
Me too. Where do they even begin?
That's the big question,
The podcast suggests social media as a great starting point.
especially for a visual business like a coffee shop.
Exactly. Think about it. They can showcase their amazing latte art
Those Instagram-worthy swirls and designs.
or mouth-watering pastries displayed in that perfect light.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
And behind-the-scenes glimpses of their baristas expertly brewing coffee.
It's all about creating that warm, inviting atmosphere.
But they're quick to point out that it's not just about pretty pictures.
Right. You have to engage with people, too.
Exactly. Responding to comments, asking questions, creating that sense of community.
Make people feel like they're part of something special.
They even suggest polls or contests.
Oh, like what?
Asking followers, what's your favorite coffee bean? Or what pastry should we bake next?
Get people talking and interacting with the brand.
Makes them feel valued, gives them a voice.
That's smart. What about their website?
Still crucial, even in the age of social media.
Really? Why?
It's where they share in-depth content.
Like what kind of content?
Think stories behind their coffee beans, brewing tips, recipes that pair well with their coffee.
Okay, so more than just quick social media posts.
Become the experts. Offer something substantial.
I can see how that would keep people coming back for more.
And it's a perfect platform for capturing leads for email marketing.
Good point. How so?
Imagine offering a free ebook with brewing tips in exchange for an email address.
That's a good incentive.
Then use those emails to share promotions, new menu items, keep the business top of mind.
I'm starting to see how it all ties together.
Now let's move offline for a second.
Okay, back to the real world.
The podcast talks about partnering with other local businesses.
Oh, I love that idea. What kind of partnerships?
They could team up with a bookstore for a coffee and books event.
Cute.
Offer discounts on both.
Or a bakery for a coffee and pastry pairing.
Genius.
Cross-promotion, reaching a wider audience, offering something unique.
It's a win-win.
And don't forget flyers and brochures.
Good old-fashioned
Do
marketing.
people even look at those anymore?
They can be effective, especially locally.
I guess so.
The key is strategic placement.
So not just randomly putting them up everywhere.
Think about where your target customer hangs out.
Community centers, yoga studios, office buildings.
Exactly. Target those areas.
Makes sense?
And then there's that word-of-mouth magic.
The best kind of marketing.
If the coffee shop consistently delivers amazing coffee, friendly service, great atmosphere,
People will naturally talk about it.
and recommend it to their friends, happy customers are the best advocates.
True that. And the podcast suggests implementing a referral program.
Like offering a free drink for referring a friend.
A little incentive to spread the word.
It works. I'm feeling inspired by all these examples.
Me too. But where do you even start with all of this?
They suggest creating a marketing calendar.
To stay organized,
Outline what you'll be doing each week or month.
like a roadmap for your marketing efforts.
A simple spreadsheet, a wall calendar, even just a notebook.
I could definitely use that.
It helps you stay consistent, which is key.
I know myself, I'd try to do too much at once and get overwhelmed.
The podcast addresses that directly. Start with 1 or 2 manageable strategies.
Okay, I can handle that.
Focus on doing those well, then add more gradually.
Build momentum.
They compare it to exercise.
Oh.
Better to work out regularly, even for short periods, than to cram it all in at once.
Makes sense. Consistency wins again.
They also encourage experimentation.
Oh. Trying new things.
What works for one business might not work for another.
You have to find what works for you.
Track your results, adjust your approach.
Marketing is always evolving.
It's an ongoing process, not a one-time event.
I think sometimes we forget that,
They also talk about setting realistic expectations.
especially when you're starting out.
It's easy to get caught up in the hype and expect overnight success.
Marketing fairy godmother.
It takes time and effort to see real results.
But celebrate those small wins along the way.
Every new follower, every positive review, every sale.
It keeps you going.
Now, I was
With
wondering,
that.
do these strategies change as a business grows?
Great question.
Startups versus established businesses.
Different needs, different approaches.
Exactly. The podcast breaks it down.
Tell me more.
For startups, it's about building awareness.
Get the word out.
Create a website, social media profiles, network, maybe even some targeted ads.
Just getting started.
For established businesses, it might be about generating leads.
And converting those leads into paying customers.
Run more sophisticated campaigns, focus on content marketing, email marketing.
Nurture those leads.
And for businesses looking to scale,
The big leagues.
they might explore influencer marketing, strategic partnerships, larger scale advertising.
Wow, it's like a whole different ballgame.
It is, but they emphasize one thing that's crucial at every stage:
What's that?
customer retention.
Keep those customers coming back.
It's much easier to keep a customer than to acquire a new one.
It's all about providing excellent customer service.
Going above and beyond, creating loyal customers who will spread the word.
And before we wrap up, I love how they end with this insightful thought.
What's that?
Imagine if every customer became your advocate. What could you do to create such an amazing experience?
Powerful, right?
It really challenges you to think differently about your business.
It's about creating something exceptional, something people will rave about.
Than just a transaction.
Exactly.
Welcome back. We've covered so much ground in this deep dive, but there's one thing I keep coming back to.
What's that?
The English Glowed podcast ends on this really thought-provoking note about the bigger picture of marketing,
I remember they talk about what effective marketing can truly achieve.
beyond just increasing sales or getting more followers.
It's about creating a lasting impact, building a sustainable business.
And they use this beautiful analogy.
Yeah, I love that.
Planting seeds that grow into a strong and healthy tree.
It perfectly captures the idea of building something that lasts.
nurturing those customer relationships over time.
Creating an experience that people truly value.
Something they'll come back to and tell their friends about.
Word of mouth is powerful.
So powerful.
Yeah.
But what does success actually look like in this approach?
Well, they highlight a few key outcomes.
Okay, I'm listening.
First, increased visibility.
Not just being known, but being known for something specific.
Exactly. Becoming the go-to solution for a particular need.
The one people think of first when they need what you offer.
That's the goal.
And then, of course, there's the impact on sales.
Revenue is the lifeblood of any business.
It's what keeps the lights on.
But they make an important distinction.
What's that?
It's not about those short-term bursts of sales.
Like from a flash sale or a one-time promotion?
Right. It's about creating sustainable revenue.
Building a loyal customer base that keeps coming back.
Because loyal customers are more likely to make repeat purchases.
And they spend more over time.
They even become advocates for your brand.
Telling their friends, family, everyone they know.
That's the dream scenario.
Absolutely. And then there's the impact on brand reputation.
This is a big one.
It's how people perceive your business.
The emotions and associations they have with your brand.
Do they trust you? Do they respect you?
Consistent messaging, high-quality products, exceptional customer service.
All these contribute to building a strong brand reputation.
And that reputation can be a huge asset.
Attract talent, secure funding, even weather those tough times.
It's a powerful thing.
It really is. It
Yeah.
feels like effective marketing can have this ripple effect,
Touching every aspect of your business.
leading to greater visibility, increased sales, a stronger reputation.
A more sustainable and successful future.
And that brings me back to that question they end with.
Oh, the one about turning every customer into an advocate.
Yeah. What could you do to create such an amazing experience?
It's a challenge, but a good one.
It pushes us to think differently.
Go above and beyond, exceed expectations, build those deep relationships.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are you taking away from all of this?
I'm inspired by the idea of creating something truly exceptional.
Something that resonates with people and makes them want to share it.
It's about more than just transactions. It's about building connections.
That's what makes marketing so powerful.
It has the potential to transform businesses and lives.
Well said. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into small business marketing.
We hope you found it valuable and are ready to put these strategies into action.
Remember, it's a journey, so keep learning, keep growing, and keep marketing.